for the O&G. Anything that's come out of those shows that maybe you forgot about?
Yeah, yeah. Every show has come up with something that has jumped off my mind, fell off the radar, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." Because obviously, a lot of it deals with perspective, with where you are and what your interests are. But there are a lot of stories that were out there, and we were even discussing some on yesterday that were left off everybody's list, and we were going back and forth with each other as we were trying to get our headlines together for this show. It was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then here's the other thing, Brian. How many of those stories you were like, was that this year? Was that last year? As these sports years tend to, when you go from sports year to calendar year and try to remember whether it occurred in that calendar year or in an academic year, it gets kind of tough sometimes keeping all that stuff together. And one other thing, Brian, I did have one new vocabulary word that I got in my lexicon this year, Brian.
Okay.
Duopoly.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
I learned what a duopoly was. If I didn't learn anything else this year, I learned what a duopoly was thanks to HBCU Go and those people over there.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a little last week. The overwhelming contract with the whole HBCU Go was probably the story or moment. It definitely was one of the top three. I think of the year. I mean, you could, whether you want to say Coach Prime and the year of Coach Prime, the good, bad, and the ugly. Whether you want to include that as one of the moments of the year, because it seemed like every week, every month, there was something. The HBCU Go deal, what we learned about compliance, those are just some of the things but I think media rights and understanding, and I still to this day, Drew, don't think people really grasp media rights because I think people still are comparing, uh, which you should never do. You're comparing a billion dollar industry, SEC, with a $1 million industry, which is SWAC. Uh, and it's two different things, So
Night
I
and day.
think night and day. It's night and day, and I think there's also a historical precedent in that as well, which also I think affects the numbers. So I just I think we're still looking for clarity. I think people are looking for their own individual understanding. Because I think most of us are visual. And what we want to be able to see, Drew, we want to be able to see numbers. See what it is you can see in the SEC is you can see numbers and you can see the direct impact of numbers, right? You can see the value in the money, and you can see the 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 facilities. You can see the locker rooms. You can see the improvement in recruiting budgets, which allow for them to, you all those things are tangible, but we're still at the infancy stage. So I hope people can, no one's been able to sort of pump the brakes a little bit in this whole thing, as they have, people have sort of argued and fussed about, how much money this is providing, this is giving. Nobody really is sort of. I think what I really wish more people would turn to in 2023 is towards NIL, to be honest with you, because there are opportunities for HBCUs and HBCU schools within the NIL market. Each school, through whether it be alumni organizations, collectives, could be doing more. And why are we doing it? That's something that I think is a powerful play. in 2023. So it's time to stop talking about it so much, and let's start making it happen for these young people.
Yeah. Well,
Just
Brian,
my two.
NIL is a good thing. NIL is not for everybody. Who's going to benefit from NIL? The quarterback, the wide receiver, the leading scorer on the basketball team, maybe the hot pitcher on the softball team. You know, maybe if you got that elite track star, but you're probably talking about 10 to 20 athletes at a university who would benefit from NIL. What we need to look at for our universities is making them more competitive, especially our Division I universities, by being able to increase the money that the athletic departments have so they can give cost of attendance.
Hmm.
And for those who are not familiar with cost of attendance, that is the money that student athletes receive on top of books, room, board, and and meal plans to attend the school. You know, that includes costs such as how much does it cost for you to get from your home in Indianapolis, Indiana, Brian, to Tallahassee, Florida, to go to Florida A&M University. That includes some of the other ancillary costs. Entertainment costs is included in that. You know, can these kids get $5,000 each? Can they get $10,000 each? And you break it up over 2 semesters. Can they get $1,000 each right now, Brian? I'd be happy if these kids got $1,000 each for attending these universities. But let's keep in mind, you're talking 200 to 300 athletes at a university, so that's a nice chunk of change if you're going to do it. So if you had 250 athletes and you were to give them 25, if you were to give them $5,000 a piece, well, that's $1.25 million, Mariah. That has to be found somewhere. So,
Hmm.
but those are some of the things that we need to build toward, and NIL, as you like it, become the gravy on top of it because student athletes can't be like.
I did want to talk a little bit about bowls, and people have asked questions about the Celebration Bowl in terms of the payout. What does that look like? Just to give you updates there, you're talking about $1.2 million payout in terms of the bowls that go to the conference. A percentage of that goes to the institution, depending on the split. 75-25 for the SWAC, 70-30 in terms of the MEAC, or that was the last percentage breakdown in terms of what that looks like. But I want to do a little comparison so you get a chance of what does that look like. Obviously, you have the major bowls, and you've seen what they do as they off the chart in terms of the New Year's Six, $14 million, significant type of money. But you see how long they've been in the business for the Rose Bowl, going back 100 years in terms of what they do there and how they're tied into the CFP and how they have really engulfed all that money. But if you look at some of the other bowls out there, there was an article that talked about the Quick Lane Bowl, really focusing on New Mexico State, which it was encouraging fans to purchase tickets. And it wasn't so much about purchasing tickets. Obviously, you want to support your team, but a lot of it would maybe be of the distance that a lot of fans wouldn't necessarily travel for a 6-6 Aggies team that was playing a 6-6 Bowling Green Falcons team, if you would, coming out of the MAC all the way in Detroit. So they were asking fans to support the team that did make a bowl and purchase tickets so they could donate them to Detroit area youth. That's a great thing for the youth to get a chance to get out and see some college football. But I wanted to get into some of the money. When you talk about this particular matchup, when you see what was going on here, three things to know about the Bowling Green as they entering into at that time the Quick Lane Bowl, which was this past week, if you would, a week ago, I should say. The university closed travel cost them $400,000 travel to Detroit. When you talk about the Celebration Bowl, one thing is unique. You heard last year they got the deal with Delta actually flew the teams in there to Atlanta, and that was at no cost to the teams. So you didn't have to worry about that type of cost where you see it doing $400K for Detroit. And so some interesting things there when you think about it. But this is really it was interesting when I seen this when you talk about these payouts. Because a lot of folks talk about $1 million, $2, $3 million payouts for these bowls. One thing people don't realize, a lot of times these bowls are a bigger number in there, but they'll charge you, as you see, for your travel, your hotel stay, food and things of that nature while you in there. They'll also charge you for the band in terms of the band and who you bring in there. They'll charge you a ticket price for the band members in the stand. And so the payout for the Quick Lane Bowl was $150K. Yeah, let me say that again. The payout for that bowl game was $150K, and which is why you see the fact that they were encouraging their fans to buy tickets, because this is where it can get a little benefit to the team. New Mexico State athletic director was quoted saying that the university will retain 100% of the revenue from the first 2,000 tickets it sells, 50% of the next 2,000 tickets, which by New Mexico wants its fan base to purchase all of these tickets, because if they did, they could recoup $420K in terms of what that means. So just to give you some indications of what's out there and why you really need to look at the contracts, or at least get some more information of some generalities of these various bowl games to get an understanding of what that looks like. So just on the surface, I'll go to you, Charles. What are your thoughts in terms of what that looks like when you see, especially some of these small bowls, in terms of what they bring to the table when you compare? Because a lot of folks will instantly go to the larger bowl games and say, hey, they're paying out this. And just so one of the things we always like to talk about only is the business side. So you see some of the numbers that go out there and get an understanding what that looks like. What are your thoughts?
Tremendously enlightening to really find out some of the ancillary costs. I think that those are things that you almost oftentimes take for granted, Dr. Gill, that you know, those the charging for the band and things of that nature. So you never sort of calculate those into what goes into the bigger picture. But it's fascinating to see the numbers finally, you know, out there for all of us to really grasp and understand, you know, what a jewel that you have within the Celebration Bowl, I think.
Yeah, and you see the numbers continue to move up, which always helps both in terms of attendance and the ratings, which is more powerful. So when you sit back in the table, it gives you a chance to continue to push for bigger payouts. Mike, what are your thoughts in terms of just getting a different framework of the bowl landscape, how varied it can be at the time?
Yeah, you often wonder, you know, you look at all of the activities that take place, and then you look at, you know, who's transporting the group here, who's transporting the group here, who's paying for this dinner, who's providing gift baskets for the team. Those are all costs that are buried underneath the umbrella of the bowl cost. So, and you take that into consideration, and then you wonder, does the bowl game have the sustainability of growth and volume over the course of 3 to 5 years to kind of, you know, eat a lot of those ancillary costs down, you know, such as transportation costs, hotel costs, dining costs, you know, their awards costs, or whatever. I think in some bowls, some of the bigger bowls, I think some of the players get gifts or whatever. You wonder where that's covered, what pot that's covered in. So you get all of those little, I guess, trinkets into that big basket of bowl costs. And then it gives you a different insight on, is this a viable bowl game? And like CB said, all that in consideration, it gives you more of an appreciation for not only the performance of the Celebration Bowl, but the growth that you've seen over the last 5-6 years.
Mic check 1, 2. And hello, everyone. Welcome back to Birthright Alumni Hall on the campus of Stillman College for some HBCU basketball part 2 as the Stillman College Tigers get ready to take on Loyola. I bring you greetings once again. My name is Mo Carter, along with the BCSN crew. We are here inside of Birthright for this huge matchup between the first place team in the SSAC, that is Loyola, as they take on the fifth place team in the SSAC, and that is your Stillman College Tigers. These two teams met not long ago, and it was Loyola that picked up a 93-81 victory. Loyola enters tonight's game ranked 14th nationally in the NAIA. They are 19-4 on the year, 14-2 in conference play. For Stillman, they are ranked 5th in the SSAC with a 14-11 overall record and a 10-7 record in conference play. Stillman looks to snap a 4-game win streak by the Wolfpack in the team series. In the team's 5 seasons as members of the SSAC, they have met thrice in the conference tournament in Montgomery, possessing a 2-1 edge in conference play. We take a look at some of the stat lines for Loyola. Team scoring average is about 77.5. They give up about 70.9 points per game. For Stillman, they average 77.2 points per game, and they give up 71.4 points per contest. Loyola will be paced this evening by number 20, Jalen Galloway. He averages 18 points per contest. Second leading scorer on the team is Michael Harden. Of course, for Stillman, they do it in a balanced form. The leading scorer for the Stillman Tigers has been Derek Finkley, followed by Khalil Johnson and Marcus Bates Jr. So we're all set here inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. Marcus Bates Jr. tipping it off, and he will get it over to Derek Finkley. Stillman wearing the gold jerseys tonight with white numbers, and those jerseys are striped with a dark blue color, both the jersey and the numbers. For Loyola, they've got a maroon burgundy ensemble with a white and gold stripe, maroon and burgundy numbers, and the numbers are with a gold stripe. And we got our first bucket of the game by way of Loyola. They knocked down a three-pointer in the corner. They're up 3-0 and put a little full court press. Here's Marcus Bates. He'll get it over to Derek Finkley in the corner. Here's Khalil Johnson. He'll try his own three, and he knocks it down. 3-3 is your score. They're trading three-pointers already inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. Here's Loyola. All right, so here we go. Ball knocked out of bounds. And the possession will remain with Loyola. We want to thank you for joining us here on BCSN and HBCU League Pass Plus, as the bucket is knocked down by Loyola right here, giving them a 5-3 lead. Here's another three-pointer, and it is good by Jamar Jackson, young man from out of Huntsville, Alabama. He gives the Tigers a 6-5 lead. That previous shot that was made by Loyola was made by Michael Harden. Chance of defense being heard inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. And we're going to have a turnover right here as number 3 for Loyola, that's Alex Hammond, is called for an offensive foul. Hammond is a New Orleans native. He's playing for his hometown team. Played for Eleanor McMain High School. McMain High School in New Orleans. home to one Lil Wayne and Michael Smith, formerly of ESPN. Here comes Marcus Bates Jr., the drive inside. His shot well off the mark. Rebound goes to Loyola. Jalen Galloway, their lead scorer, with the rebound. Here's Loyola. Matthew Montesur, a young man from out of Los Angeles. He loses the ball out of bounds, but they're saying last touch by Stillman. 16 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here's the inbounds pass to Jalen Galloway. Over to Alex Heyman. Back into the hands of Hammond. Inside to Galloway. Galloway goes for a dunk, but he will not connect because he was fouled before the dunk attempt. Instead, Jalen Galloway will head to the free throw line. Jalen Galloway, a senior forward, 6'7", from out of Meridian, Idaho. He's a transfer from the College of Idaho, a school I honestly didn't even know existed. He knocks down the first free throw attempt. Here comes his second. And it shakes, rattles, and rolls, and it goes in. Jalen Galloway on the year. He's a 77% free throw shooter. Derek Finkley gets it up to Davion Dennis. Back into the hands of Finkley. Let's Go Tiger chants being heard by the Stillman College Band, who's in the house tonight. Here's Jamar Jackson. Gets it over to Dennis. Dennis clears it. Gets it to Marcus Bates. Into the hands of Finkley. Finkley's got a good look for three. Rims in and out. Rebound goes to Hammond. Here comes Hammond. Being guarded by Davion Dennis. Into the hands now of Milan Mejia. And his shot is off the mark. Up ahead, everyone. Here's Jamar Jackson. And Jackson will score. JJ with the bucket. Stillman back on top, 8-7. Michael Horton trying to put the moves on Finkley. Horton will hand it off to Galloway. And Galloway will draw the foul. Marcus Bates will be called for the foul. Looks like Galloway is going to go back to the free throw line. As we mentioned, Galloway is a 77% free throw shooter. His first free throw attempt, it's up, and it is good by Galloway. 16-16 to go in the first half. We're all tied at 8 apiece. Loyola, the Wolfpack, are ranked 14th nationally and then the #1 team in the SSAC. Second free throw does not connect for Loyola. It remains a tie ball game. Here comes Derek Finkley off a screen for Marcus Bates. Finkley swings it over to Bates now. Bates trying to put some moves on Galloway. Turns, spins in the paint. Can't make the shot. Rebound, though, goes to Hammond on that one. Loyola, the drive, inside, and it's going to be another foul on the shot. So going to the line will be Matthew Montesur, a grad guard from out of Los Angeles, California. First free throw attempt off the mark. So let's take a look at Montesur's stats on the year so far. He's a 79% free throw shooter. He averages about 11.6 points per contest. He goes 1 for 2 on that trip. Checking in the game now is Bailey Talley, a young man from Covington, Louisiana, which is near New Orleans. So 9 times out of 10, he could have played against some of these guys who are from the NOLA area on this NOLA-based team. Here comes Derek Finkley. Calls for the screen. Instead, he's going to kick it out. Davion Dennis wide open for three. Misses the three-point attempt. Rebound goes to Jamar Jackson. Khalil Johnson for three. Misses his three-point. Bailey Talley with the rebound and the bucket. The young man from the north side of New Orleans by way of Covington gets the bucket. Here comes the Wolfpack. They'll get it over to Galloway, and the bucket is good. Galloway with another bucket puts his team back up by one. Here comes that full court press once again from Loyola. They're going with a 1-2-2 press. Derek Finkley trying to get by Harden, and he does, at least across the court. Harden still guarding him tightly like glue. Interesting narrative. Harden is wearing number 13. I remember one point in time there was another guy in the NBA that wore number 13 with the same last name. Here's Bailey Talley. He gets the bucket off the turnaround in the paint. How about that for Bailey Talley? 4 quick points already for the young man from Covington, Louisiana. Talley getting some early minutes in this contest. Can Harden respond with a three-pointer? And he does. Harden gets the three-pointer over Khalil Johnson, who was all over him on that one. And now they try to draw the ball up court to Khalil Johnson, but ball goes out of bounds. Few substitutions coming in for Loyola. Davion Dennis was the man who overthrew Khalil Johnson on that one. Here's a long two-point attempt by the Wolfpack. It's off the mark. Running down the floor now, it's Jamar Jackson. Jackson gets a little separation. He'll swing it over Khalil Johnson for three in the corner, and Khalil Johnson knocks down another three-pointer. The young man with the pink shoes is off to a good start. 15-14, Tigers on top. Here comes Loyola. That shot attempt is off the mark. Rebound, though, goes to Loyola. Harden thought about a three. Instead, he's going to drive inside. Nice dish, and it was partially blocked. Tip back, no good, and the ball is finally corralled by Bailey Talley. Here comes Derek Finkley. He's going to try to run the floor now, and the ball is almost stolen away by Harden. Talley gets it over to Davion Dennis for three. Hits the iron. Rebound, though, by Jamar Jackson. His put back off the mark. Loyola now with numbers. The drive on Bailey Talley is good by Bradley Akame. Sophomore forward from out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He gives Loyola a 1-point lead once again. Here's Khalil Johnson over to Bailey Talley. Talley's going to try a three, and Talley has 7 points already. For the Tigers, and he brings this crowd to their feet with that three-pointer. Here's the drive, and the ball is stolen by Khalil Johnson. He tried to throw it off a Loyola player, but instead he just throws it back in. So Loyola still has possession. There's a missed shot by Loyola, and the ball is corralled by Derek Finkley. And there's going to be a foul here on the play. And look, we got a timeout on the floor, so we're going to take it with them. 11:57 to go. Tigers on top, 18-16. You're watching BCSN.
People think unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So, give us everything you've got.
What if I'm a professional gamer with a ton of expenses?
If they help drive views, let's talk deductions.
What if I'm in a state with no income tax, but my survival videos are viewed in 38 countries?
I can help. And if this is a business dinner, save those jerky receipts. An interesting life can mean an even greater refund. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit TurboTax Live.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years.
I thought new phones were for new customers.
We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
And welcome back to Birthright Alumni Hall on the campus of Stillman College. Right now, Stillman leads Loyola by a score of 18-16. Loyola comes to this game ranked 14th nationally. Here's Khalil Johnson, the step back three. Actually, they're going to call it a long two, but it's still good. 20-16 is now your score. Here's Loyola now, trying to cut into the deficit. Zach Moeller, he's got the rock into the hands of Milan Magia. Back in the hands now of Horton. That's Michael Horton. Ball gets tipped around. Actually, that'll be Devin Merriweather that comes up with a loose ball, and it's going to be a loose ball foul that's called on Loyola. So clearly we've been covering HBCU athletics all year long here on BCSN, especially with the Stillman College Tigers. But as you take a look at the Loyola staff, they actually do have an HBCU connection as well. Head coach Donald Reyes of Loyola actually spent a number of years on the staff at Bethune-Cookman. He was an assistant coach at Bethune-Cookman, where he led recruiting from 2019 to 2021, and he scouted player and developmental efforts while heading up all basketball operations for the Wildcats. Now he's a head coach at Loyola in New Orleans. He's actually a New Orleans native as well. He graduated from John Ehret High School. There's a bucket right there by Loyola. They cut the lead down to 2. You can credit that bucket to Leonard Jackson. Give the assist to Michael Horton. And on the play right there, that was Tamias Brand throwing the ball away. Pass intended for Derek Finkley. So Loyola will take over on the possession. So with the rock right now, here comes Zach Moeller, a senior guard from out of Dallas, Texas. Moeller will drive in, but he loses real estate, so he's got to kick it out to Magia. And the ball is stolen by Devin Merriweather. Merriweather's going to try to take it, but how about the block right there by Magia on the other side? Great hustle play by Magia. But the ball will remain with Stillman. So on the inbounds, it goes out to Derek Finkley. Finkley will hand it over to Devin Merriweather. Here's Merriweather, drives inside, the wild shot off the mark. Rebound goes over to Jalen Galloway of Loyola. Here come the Wolfpack. Wolfpack get the ball right here. Here's Leonard Jackson. Here's a three-point attempt by the Wolfpack. Off the mark. That three-pointer was attempted by Bradley Alsame. Instead, it'll be Galloway that gets the rebound and the bucket right here. He ties the ball game up at 20 apiece. Here comes Jamar Jackson. He'll get it over to Bailey Talley. In the corner, here's Khalil Johnson. Thought about a three. Instead, he'll take this three this time. Hits the back iron. Rebound goes to the Wolfpack. Bring the ball up court is Leonard Jackson, young man from Wagaman, Louisiana. That's across the river on the West Bank. So here's the drive by Zach Moeller. Oh, nice inside pass to Magi for the bucket right there. 22-20. Loyola now out in front. Devin Merriweather, he's got the rock. He'll swing it over to Derek Fingley. Fingley looks back quickly at Coach John Teasley. He'll throw it out to Khalil Johnson. Johnson thought about a three. Instead, he'll drive inside, and there's going to be a foul on the floor. Couple of substitutions coming in for Stillman. Here's Evan Merriweather running the offense. He's got Jordan Bell on the floor with him, along with Tobias Brand. Merriweather goes behind his back. He'll kick it out to Brandon Lakeford Johnson, who drives but can't get the bucket. Rebound goes to big number 34, Cameron Williams. Driving inside is Zach Moeller. He'll kick it out to Galloway. Back in the hands of Moeller. Into the hands now of Majai. Over to Williams. Williams will drive baseline, misses the shot. Galloway with the rebound. His shot is off the mark. Stillman, they've got numbers out in front. What can they do? Devin Merriweather throws it up to Jordan Bell over to Bailey Talley, who gets the bucket right there. Bell was at the rim, but he couldn't throw it down, but he had no problem giving it up and giving it to Bailey Talley, who's got off to a great start tonight. You can't tell me this young man isn't feeling it in this game, especially against a team that's not far away from his hometown. But here's a three-pointer by Leonard Jackson to put Loyola back out in front. Tobias Brand. He's got the rock now. Now Devin Merriweather gets it. And he'll get it over to Brendan Langford Johnson. Back over to Merriweather with 7 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the first half. And we got a foul on the floor. Looks like they're going to get Leonard Jackson on that foul. It wasn't long ago when these two teams met in the city of New Orleans, and Loyola pulled off a 93-81 victory over Coach John Teasley and company. On the inbounds, here comes Derry Merriweather. Over to Brendan Langford Johnson. Langford Johnson throws it inside to Bailey Talley. He's going to try to back down his man. The turnaround jumper is blocked by Loyola, but Merriweather gets the rock back. He'll pull up for three, and it's good from downtown Tuscaloosa. That is Devin Merriweather. Merriweather ties the ball game up at 25 as we've now hit the 7-minute mark. Here's Alex Hammond. Gets it over to a driving Galloway, who will have to kick it out. Galloway will now pull up from the free throw line. His shot off the mark. Jordan Bell with the rebound. Here comes Devin Merriweather. Throws it inside to Bailey Talley. Talley, the turnaround jumper. It's good for Bailey Talley. What a start for Bailey Talley, the young man from Covington, Louisiana. And if you're wondering how far Covington is from New Orleans, it's not that far. So this game definitely means something to that young man right there. On the other end, it's Galloway, the drive off glass. He misses the shot, but he draws the foul on that one. Bailey Talley off to a fantastic start. 11 points from the young man from Covington, Louisiana. At the line right now will be number 20. That is Jalen Galloway, one of the top scorers on this team. 77% free throw shooter, and he makes it a 1-point game. As I mentioned, he's the leading scorer on this squad. He's averaging just around 18 points per game for the 14th ranked team in the entire nation. Second free throw is good. Checking into the game right now will be number 13. That's Michael Harden. He's going to give Galloway a breather. And Harden comes up with a steal. Oh, no, they said he stepped on the line. All right, so on the inbounds, here comes Stillman. They'll get it over to Brendan Langford Johnson into the hands of Tamias Brand. Back into the hands of Devin Merriweather. Merriweather being guarded closely by Milan Majai, young man from out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Here's Devin Merriweather. The drive off glass, and it's good for Merriweather. Gives his team a 2-point lead. 5:45 to go. Here comes Hammond. Being guarded by Brand, and oh man, he blows by everybody. Gets the kind roll around the rim, the fall, and drop. Loyola ties the game at 29. Here's Brendan Langford Johnson. He'll get it over to Devin Merriweather. Here's Merriweather being guarded closely by Majai. Into the corner. Here is Brand. Brand for three from downtown Tuscaloosa. 32-29. Stillman on top. Here comes Cameron Williams. The pull up near the free throw line. It's off the mark. But Williams tries to go up and dunks it. However, he is fouled hard. And he'll head over to the free throw line. They'll get Bailey Talley on that foul. And we got a timeout on the floor, so let's take it with them. 4:49 to go. 32-29. Stillman on top. We'll be right back on BCSN.
When you work in IT, complaints are part of the job.
Bill says the coffee's weak today.
But since CDW helped us switch to Mac, everyone's happier. Dan from finance likes getting performance without a big price tag. Phoebe digs the power of the Apple M1 chip. Mac is easy to manage, compatible with all our apps, and came pre-configured by CDW. Now we're even getting compliments.
That was Bill again, says he loves his new Mac. He's right about the coffee.
Hey, babe, meet us at the bottom of the trail.
Oh, man. Hey.
Open up. The redesigned Chevy Silverado with a sophisticated high-tech interior.
Open the door.
It's easy to forget it's a truck.
Thanks.
Nice truck.
It was.
Find new style. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
When you work in IT.
And welcome back to Birthright Alumni Hall. Stillman on top of Loyola, the 14th ranked team in the entire nation, 32-29. At the line will be Cameron Williams, a red shirt guard from New Orleans, Louisiana. And being a Louisiana native like myself, I will go and check out what school this young man went to. He actually went to Lusher Shorter School, and he's a transfer from Millsap. Knocks down the first free throw. Not the best free throw shooter on the team, only coming in at 33%. As he misses the second free throw, Bailey Talley comes up with a huge rebound, and there's going to be a foul on the floor. So here comes Stillman trying to break this full court press, but Cameron Williams throws it down tomahawk style right there off the steal. 32-32 is your score. Here's Tamias Brand, gets it over to Brandon Langford Johnson into the hands of Devin Merriweather. Man, Williams got up high on that one. Get that man into a dunk contest one day. Here's Merriweather. He's got 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Jordan Bell. And we've got a three-pointer that is good from downtown Tuscaloosa. Brandon Langford Johnson hits the three-pointer, and he was fouled, so he's got a chance to get a 4-point play. These two teams are going back and forth, punch for punch. 35-32 is your new score. with a chance to make it 36-32. Oh, missed shot right there on the free throw by Langford Johnson. We're at the 4-minute mark of the first half. 35-32 is your score. Here's Zach Molnar. Throws it in the corner. Back over to Mauler. Mauler wants to get it to Harden, and he does. Harden, the crossover, the pull-up, hits back on. Rebound, though, goes to the Wolfpack. Nice backdoor dish for the Wolfpack, and the bucket is good by Zach Mauler. Mauler makes it a 35-34 game. Devin Merriweather gets it over to Brandon Langford Johnson. He's trying to beat that press. They got to get it across the court for 10 seconds, and no, they do not. 10-second violation. Turnover on the play. The Wolfpack will take over. Stillman trying to get their first win against Loyola since the year 2021. It's been 2 years since Stillman has pulled off a victory. As a matter of fact, it was Devin Merriweather that had a buzzer beater right here in Birthright Alumni Hall when Stillman was ranked 15th, Loyola was ranked 16th, and they won 74-73. We got a foul right here on the play. If anything, it kind of looked like Matthew Mondesor may have slipped on the floor before he was actually contacted, but they're going to call a foul on Stillman. Next foul will send both of these teams to the free throw line. Here's Harden. He's going to drive baseline. He missed the shot, but he draws the foul, and he's going to head over to the free throw line. And Michael Harden, one of the best free throw shooters on their team, he is an 86% free throw shooter. He averages about 12.5 points per contest. Let's give you a breakdown of individual stats right now. Jalen Galloway, he leads all Loyola scorers with 12. Leonard Jackson has 5. (35-34) is your score. Harden's at the free throw line. And he sinks the free throw. It's all tied up at 35 once again. Back and forth we go between these two SSAC opponents. Brendan Langford Jackson gets it over to Bailey Talley. Talley trying to get it to somebody, eventually does. To Langford Jackson, over to Devin Merriweather. Merriweather being guarded closely by Majai. Here's Merriweather. He'll drive. He'll get it over to Langford Johnson into the hands of Derek Finkley. Finkley thought about a three-pointer. Instead, he's going to drive, go off glass, and scores. It's Derek Finkley. (37-35) is your score here inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. And there's almost a steal by Derek Finkley. Into the hands of Mauler. Here's a three-point attempt by Majai, nothing but the back of the net. That three-pointer was silky smooth, everybody. 38-37 is your score. Loyola now on top. Here's Derek Finkley trying to split some defenders. He loses the ball. Ball gets thrown up the court, but Devin Merriweather is able to run it down and get the steal. 1:49 to go. Here's a three-point attempt by Brendan Langford Johnson. It's off the mark. Rebound goes to Michael Harden. Up front, here comes Alex Hammond, and a block shot by Derek Finkley. Here's Finkley, throws it up, and the alley-oop is good by Jordan Bell. He doesn't throw it down, but he connects at the rim. And Stillman back on top, 39-38. Look, there's a timeout on the floor, but we're going to keep it right here. 1:30 left in the first half. Like we said, back and forth we go between the Tigers and the Wolfpack. Coming up at the half, you'll see a few snippets of some of the best stuff that we have on the Black College Sports Network. You'll be able to check out some snippets from BCS in Sports Rap with A.D. Drew and Brian Fulford. You can watch that show every Sunday night on BCSN. Also, you'll see some snippets from inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Dr. Kenyatta Conville. There's not a thing that man does not know about HBCU athletics and the business model of HBCU sports. He's always joined by Charles Bishop and Mike Washington. So we'll have snippets of that. And also, we got a lot of brand new shows coming up on BCSN that you do not want to miss coming up in the spring. So you'll see a few snippets of that. We'll break down some of the stats, and then we'll get you ready for the second half. All that's coming up at the half. In the meantime, here's our situation. 1:27 to go. Tigers up by 1. Here's a drive by Loyola, and the shot is off the mark. Brendan Langford Johnson pushing it up court. Langford Johnson, the wild shot at the rim is off the mark, and turnover on the play, will going the other way. Leading scorer for Stillman remains Bailey Talley with 11 points. He's on the floor right now. And we got well, I thought it was going to be a travel. Looks like we got a foul on the floor. Foul will be on Jordan Bell, so that's going to send Cameron Williams actually, it's going to send Jalen Galloway to the line. Galloway has already knocked down 5 of 6 free throws. Galloway, 77% free throw shooter. Crowd in here trying to make some noise to distract Galloway. It does not work on that one as he knocks it down. He ties the ball game up at 39 apiece. Got a little pause in the action. Now Galloway's got the ball in his hands. He's going to try to break this 39-39 tie, and he does. Wolfpack now on top, 40-39. 56 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Derek Finkley. Pushing it up court against this 1-2-2 press by the Wolfpack. He gets a screen from Bailey Talley. Finkley's got 15 seconds to go on the shot clock. Finkley trying to shake his man. He's going to drive, and he throws it away. Cameron Williams throws it up front to Harden. Harden will miss the bucket, but Cameron Williams dunks it on the putback. Coach John Teasley is trying to yell to the referees to look at it from a goaltending standpoint, but the basket will count. Loyola's on top, 42-39. Here's Finkley up in the front court. He'll get it over to Devin Merriweather. 8 seconds to go on the game clock. 5, 4, 3. Here's Devin Merriweather. The drive. He misses the bucket, but he will head to the free throw line. Had that bucket fallen, Devin Merriweather would have had a chance to tie the ball game. Instead, he can make this at least a 1-point contest. Here's the first free throw. It's up and it's good. Merriweather, one of the best free throw shooters on this entire Stillman team. He's an 81% free throw shooter on the year. Here comes the second free throw attempt by Merriweather, and it's good. 1 second to go. 42-41 is the score. Here's Harden. He's going to try a half-court heave, and it falls short. So at the half, your score, Loyola 42, Stillman 41. Let's run down the stats real quick. Loyola 14-28 from the field. Stillman 16-32 from the field. So both teams are shooting 50%. Loyola has made 4 of 7 from downtown, while Stillman has made 7 of 13 from downtown for 53%. Loyola 10 of 14 from the free throw line, while Stillman only 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Jalen Galloway, he leads all the scorers on the floor with 14 points, and he's also got 3 rebounds. Daily tally, he leads all scorers for Stillman with 11 points on the evening. So that's where we stand from a stat standpoint. Our score, once again, 42-41. Loyola with a 1-point lead on the Stillman Tigers. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take our halftime break, enjoy some of the snippets from some of the best work that's done on the Black College Sports Network, and we'll join you as we get ready for the second half between Loyola and Stillman. We'll be right back.
When people work in sports, I always want to know, how did your love for sports begin?
That is a fantastic question.
Thank you.
I'm not sure how I can pinpoint when the bug bit me, but I always talk about in our house growing up, there was always a black and white picture of my mom's basketball team. And so I grew up knowing that she started as a freshman. She was also part of integrating a predominantly white school. And so she would tell me about some of the struggles that were involved with that. And so I think that always I kind of wanted to make her proud, and I always felt like the bar, she never said that, but I always felt like the bar was going to be starting as a freshman and doing those other things. Although I played softball in high school as well, basketball was my first love. And ironically, one of those things when you looked at that, something for so long, I did start as a freshman. And one of my most favorite years of all in sports was that freshman year when I was allowed to play on the junior high team and the high school team. I grew up in a small Class B school, and so absolutely loved that year where I was playing basketball 5 to 6 days a week.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, and like you said, you just wanted to make her proud, even though she never said it, but you was trying to follow her footsteps, and that's pretty cool. So as I mentioned earlier, you're a Hall of Famer from your alma mater, with such honors as Player of the Week, OIC Scholar Athlete, OIC and District 9 All-Conference teams, and Northwestern Ranger Queen. What amazing accomplishments. How, with basketball classes, possibly campaigning for Ranger Queen, how were you able to juggle all this and keep your GPA up?
Well, it's one of those things that I absolutely loved college, and some of my friends from the Baptist Student Union, they were my sponsoring group for Ranger Queen.
Okay.
They talked me into it, and ironically, it's the first time that I learned that other people other people can see some things in yourself that you may not see at the time.
Right.
I never ever considered myself Queen material at all, and I wouldn't have had the nerve to do it had some of my friends were like, "Hey, we'll help you with the posters. We'll help you. We'll back you. You can do this. Everybody knows you," but they didn't know me in that realm. And so I don't know. That was a very eye-opening and life-changing time for me as well. So to be voted in by my peers at a PWI meant a whole lot to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I always saw myself just as a jock, an athlete, a scholar. I did see those things as me, but a queen, I never saw that.
Well, you're a queen, sister. That's for sure. You are amazing. Just researching and reading your bio, I was like, wow, she is amazing, and that's why I'm so excited that you're our very first guest. A.D. Rogers, you were inducted in the Hall of Fame at Langston in 1998. I believe 9 years after you graduated, or 8 or 9 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. How was that moment for you to be honored in that way?
No one really prepares you. It's like when you're excited about it, and I was honored. My family was there to see me inducted, but I was not prepared for the rush of memories as you're getting ready to thank those that have played a part in your induction. I just saw the hours and hours outside playing on a grass court, the excitement when my dad built my first goal. And it was big because
Mhm.
he actually had a welder. I had the metal pole, the everything, still had a
Wow.
grass court. But I mean, I looked at all the hours that were spent in the backyard and that had brought me to that point. The sacrifices that my mom and dad had made. We weren't rich by any means. My mom was a school teacher. And, you know, all of that was full circle. And I just felt grateful to God that He allowed me to experience that moment.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, AD Rogers, you served 4 years as an athletic director for women's sports and was selected as AD of the Year for Region 6 in 2003. Now, I never knew there could be separate ADs for women and men's sports. Could you elaborate on that for me? I mean, why was it just for women's sport?
So at that point in time, we were at NEI Division I school. And so we split the responsibilities. Part of my time, there were 2 years that the other men's AD.
would be applicable for this show. Drew, as you kind of listen to other recap shows, I know through the course of the week, I know Dr. Cavill's show, we did one for the O&G. Anything that's come out of those shows that maybe you forgot about?
Yeah, every show has come up with something that has jumped off my mind, fell off the radar, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." Because obviously, a lot of it deals with perspective, where you are and what your interests are. But there are a lot of stories that were out there, and we were even discussing some on yesterday that were left off everybody's list. And we were going back and forth with each other as we were trying to get our headlines together for this show. It was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then here's the other thing, Brian. How many of those stories you were like, was that this year? Was that last year? As these sports years tend to, when you go from sports year to calendar year and try to remember whether it occurred in that calendar year or in an academic year, it gets kind of tough sometimes keeping all that stuff together. And one other thing, Brian, I did have one new vocabulary word that I got in my lexicon this year, Brian.
Okay.
Duopoly.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
I learned what a duopoly was. If I didn't learn anything else this year, I learned what a duopoly was thanks to HBCU Go and those people over there.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a little last week. The overwhelming contract with the whole HBCU Go was probably the story or moment. It definitely was one of the top three, I think, of the year. I mean, you could, whether you want to say Coach Prime and the year of Coach Prime, the good, bad, and the ugly, whether you want to include that as one of the moments of the year, because it seemed like every week, every month, there was something. The HBCU Go deal, what we learned about compliance, those are just some of the things that, but I think media rights and understanding me. And I still, to this day, Drew, don't think people really grasp media rights, because I think people still are comparing, uh, which you should never do. You're comparing a billion dollar industry, SEC, with a $1 million industry, which is SWAC. And it's two different things, So
Night
I
and day.
think night and day. It's night and day, and I think there's also a historical precedent in that as well, which also I think affects the numbers. So I just I think we're still looking for clarity. I think people are looking for their own individual understanding. Because I think most of us are visual. And what we want to be able to see, Drew, we want to be able to see numbers. See what it is you can see in the SEC is you can see numbers, and you can see the direct impact of numbers, right? You can see the value in the money, and you can see the 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 facilities. You can see the locker rooms. You can see the improvement in recruiting budgets, which allow for them to, you all those things are tangible, but we're still at the infancy stage. So I hope people can, no one's been able to sort of pump the brakes a little bit in this whole thing, as they have, people have sort of argued and fussed about, how much money this is providing, this is giving. Nobody really is sort of. I think what I really wish more people would turn to in 2023 is towards NIL, to be honest with you, because there are opportunities for HBCUs and HBCU schools within the NIL market. Each school, through whether it be alumni organizations, collectives, could be doing more. And why aren't we doing more? You know, that's something that I think, really could be a powerful play in 2023. So it's time to stop talking about it so much, and let's start making it happen for these young people.
Yeah. Well,
Just
Brian,
my two.
NIL is a good thing. NIL is not for everybody. I mean, who's going to benefit from NIL? The quarterback, the wide receiver, the leading scorer on the basketball team, maybe the hot pitcher on the softball team. You know, maybe if you've got that elite track star, but you're probably talking about 10 to 20 athletes at a university who would benefit from NIL. What we need to look at for our universities is making them more competitive, especially our Division I universities, by being able to increase the money that the athletic departments have so they can give cost of attendance.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are not familiar with cost of attendance, that is the money that student athletes receive on top of books, room, board, and and meal plans to attend the school. You know, that includes costs such as how much does it cost for you to get from your home in Indianapolis, Indiana, Brian, to Tallahassee, Florida, to go to Florida A&M University. That includes some of the other ancillary costs. Entertainment costs is included in that. You know, can these kids get $5,000 each? Can they get $10,000 each? And you break it up over 2 semesters. Can they get $1,000 each right now, Brian? I'd be happy if these kids got $1,000 each for attending these universities. But let's keep in mind, you're talking 200 to 300 athletes at a university, so that's a nice chunk of change if you're going to do it. So if you had 250 athletes and you were to give them 25.
And welcome back to Birthright Alumni Hall on the campus of Stillman College. We're getting ready for second half action between the Stillman College Tigers and the Wolfpack from Loyola. The Wolfpack coming to tonight's game ranked 14th nationally in the NAIA. Mo Carter and now Nick Finch on the broadcast. Nick Finch finishing up his regular 9-to-5 duties to join us for the second half on that one, but let's jump into it right here. The Wolfpack have a shot that's blocked by Stillman. The retread to try to save the ball goes in the hands of Khalil Johnson. Johnson going to try to drive by, throws a little elbow real quick. Instead, he'll turn around and miss the turnaround jumper. How about Marcus Bates Jr.? Can't get the putback dunk, though.
Gosh, man, you really want to see Bates hit that putback and put the Tigers on top, and instead Loyola going the other way with it.
Here's Matthew Mondesor. Will get it inside to the guy we talked about all in the first half. That is Jalen Galloway with the bucket right here. Extends the lead, making it 44-41.
I'm not sure what you talked about beforehand, but I can tell you this is a Loyola team. Comes in ranked one of the best teams in the country. It's a big game for the Tigers coming off a tough road loss. It's almost a must-win situation, even if it is against a ranked team.
Here's Khalil Johnson for three in the corner, and he's good from downtown Tuscaloosa. We got a tie ball game, Nick. 44-44 is your score. First minutes of the second half. Here comes Michael Harden. Harden, the turnaround jumper, partially blocked by Khalil Johnson. Derek Finkley comes up with the rock. Here comes Finkley trying to put the moves on Harden. Finkley drives by Harden, goes off glass, misses the shot though. Rebound on the tip is good.
Bates looking like he's stat padding there. He missed the tip, but he gets the second offensive rebound and puts it back in for a couple points.
I think Bates is just happy that he's able to score after missing that dunk on the first possession.
Oh, absolutely.
Here comes Galloway with the rock right now, being guarded by Bates. Galloway, the floater, and it's money in the paint.
One thing about this Loyola Wolfpack team, they're not going to quit. They're coming. They're hungry, and they're going to do whatever they can to put Stillman away.
I mean, they're not ranked 14 in the nation for nothing. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Here's Davion Davis, the drive, the stop, and his shot is blocked, but they got him on the arm, so he'll be heading to the free throw line.
I'll tell you this, Mo. Granted, this is a pro-Stillman broadcast, but I think I can confidently say, even though you have a team that's number 14 in the country, there's not a big talent gap between Loyola and Stillman. The difference is execution beginning the games and execution at the end of games. The talent is about even, but we're going to find out which team is more disciplined and more willing to execute down the stretch.
Yes, sir. Davion Dennis knocking down the first free throw attempt. He's a 70% free throw shooter on the evening. And I don't know if you caught that, but, you know, the usual cheerleader chants that they would do for the away team, they started doing it for the Stillman free throw just now. And I just looked on one of the faces of the cheerleaders, and they realized the mistake they made, so that's why they got quiet real quick. It didn't bother Dennis, though. He was able to knock down both free throws and put his team up by 2. Here's Harden. Goes inside to Galloway, and we got a reach-in foul.
Brother, I'll tell you one thing. It is loud in here, man. Happy to hear it. But, man, this is the kind of atmosphere you want in this big kind of big game.
Absolutely. You need a great atmosphere against a team that's ranked nationally as well. Here's Galloway. The pump fake, the turnaround, and the floater is good once again via baby hook. He ties the ball game up at 48 apiece.
That's phenomenal body control by Galloway to keep his footing and use everything he could to get that up and under shot.
Here's Derek Finkley trying to get the ball across. He does to Khalil Johnson. Wolfpack have been going with their patented 1-2-2 full court press. On this play right here, though, Khalil Johnson will be fouled on a three-point attempt, so send him to the line for not 1, not 2, but 3 free throw attempts coming up.
You're about to hit me say something that you're not going to believe. That was actually a heady play on that three-pointer. He saw that his defender was off balance. He used his momentum against him and took the three. And he couldn't get the 4-point play, but he at least has 3 free throws to take.
Yes, sir. Here is Johnson knocked down the first free throw. Here comes the second free throw attempt. It's good, too. He's 2 for 2.
Do you think we have a cheerleader injury?
I think we did have a cheerleader injury because they rushed some young lady out of the door just now, and they ran straight behind us. Have to find out what's going on. On the third free throw attempt by Khalil Johnson, it rims out off the mark, 2 of 3 on the trip to the free throw line and charity stripe. So it's 50-48. Here comes Galloway. Tries to throw it inside instead. Galloway's going to be fouled once again. Should be a foul on the floor because even though he was in the air, he was passing the ball. He wasn't.
Yeah, that was a blocking foul type situation. He beat the defender to the spot, and he got the call for his troubles.
All right, so on the inbounds, here comes the Wolfpack. And Harden is able to corral the ball. He'll get it over to Majai. Now inside to Galloway once again. Is he going to make another hook shot? No, he won't this time. Khalil Johnson coming down with the rebound.
Yeah, Galloway didn't get squared up the way he wanted to right there. That was good effort, just a little too strong and to the left.
Here's Derek Finkley being guarded closely by Majai, and Majai gets a hand in, knocks it out of Finkley's hands, out of bounds. Ball will remain with the Tigers.
I'll tell you what, it's 50-48, and just by being in here, because it's a whole different feel watching it in person versus on the screen.
Tobias Brand, Jamar Johnson misses the three-pointer, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Stillman.
I was going to say that they're playing with a very hard intensity. It's 50-48. It feels like every point's been earned.
Here comes Harden. Gets the screen from Galloway. They throw it inside. Inside to Majai, and Majai will score on the layup. Left-handed at that. Back to that 1-2-2. Here they go again. Bailey Talley picks up his dribble. Now he sets the screen for Finkley to get across court, beating the 10-second violation. 15:39 to go in this one. 50 for Loyola, 50 for Stillman. Loyola has not lost to Stillman since 2021 when Devin Merriweather hit. How about Bailey Talley, the putback jam for the Louisiana native? He is having a whale of a game tonight. On the other end, though, Michael Harden quiets the crowd with his layup right there.
You know what? They might have stopped the Louisiana purchase card, but Talley has been on the money for the Tigers tonight.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it. Here's a foul right here on Davion Dennis as he will go to the free throw line. I was telling people early on the broadcast who are not familiar with Louisiana just in general. So Bailey Talley is from Covington, Louisiana. That's the North Shore of New Orleans. So he's watched this team for years. He's probably played against a few of these guys because I look down their roster and there's a lot of New Orleans-based guys on this team. So you got to think his blood is boiling to get a victory against a squad that he's seen his whole life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially whenever you play a team that's close to home, you always want a dub. And Talley's playing like it tonight.
Absolutely. Davion Dennis knocks down both free throws. He puts his team back up by 2. And here is loose. Well, actually, it's probably going to be a shooting foul.
Looks like they're going to call it on Jackson there. Question is it on the floor or is it an act of shooting?
Looks like it's in the act of shooting, so Zach Moeller is going to go to the free throw line. We'll take a look at Zach Moeller's stats on the year. Moeller is a 69% free throw shooter. He's been to the free throw line 39 times this year, May 27th. And he knocks down the first free throw. 54-53 is your score. That's only Moeller's second point of the, should be third point of the evening now once they update the live stats. He misses the second free throw. Rebound goes to Khalil Johnson. Leading the way points-wise for Stillman is Bailey Talley.
Oh, that's right.
Don't hear that often, but man, I know Coach Teasley is excited about the way his guy has been playing. Here's Finkley. He'll kick it out to Dennis. Dennis will misses the three-pointer. We're talking about just by that much.
Oh!
And on the try, steal, and save, Loyola stepped out of bounds. So Stillman's going to get the ball back.
That's when hustle pays off, and that's why you have to hustle if you're Derek Finkley. Good work by him to force that saved possession for the Tigers.
54-53 is our score. It's tight-knit, back and forth between these two. I think largest lead of the game is maybe 4 or 5 points at the most from what I recall in the first half. And that was in the early stages of the game. Here's Derek Finkley, 14 seconds to go on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Bailey Talley. Finkley pulls up, misses the shot. Rebound goes to Galloway. Galloway will throw it all the way up court and then gets the rock, and he's going to miss the shot, but he'll head to the free throw line.
You talked about the closeness of the score all night. I mentioned this is a can't lose for Stillman, and this is a must win for Loyola. You mentioned the long winning streak against the Tigers dating back 2 years. The Tigers have had some tough losses, tough road losses that have to defend at home no matter if it's against a ranked team or not.
Here's Galloway. He misses the first free throw attempt. Checking into the game now is Devin Merriweather. He's going to give Derek Finkley a breather. But no, you're absolutely right. One more win for Loyola basically gives them the regular season title, if I'm not mistaken, or at least a share of the regular season title.
Right.
With a victory tonight. For Stillman, they're tied for 5th place. So a victory along with the potential tiebreakers could possibly even push them as far as 4th place, depending on how other things went this evening around the league. But they're not scoreboard watching. They're worried about the scoreboard that's here inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. Here is a steal by Devin Merriweather. Merriweather's going to pull up, misses the bucket, but Bailey Talley's there for the turnaround jumper. Talley with his 15th point of the night.
Well, it was some fire, young man. Bailey Talley coming with it tonight.
He is. Here's Harden. And, all right, we got goaltending. I'll explain what happened once we take this time out. So we've got 56-55. Stillman up by 1. We'll be right back on BCSN.
HBCUs, there's no limit to who we can be. Black and inspired and thriving. Black and magnetic and sing. From the classrooms to the quad, our passion is our purpose. We are leaders and legacy. So when you look at what we accomplish next, you'll know where it started. For who you are and who you want to be, we're here.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing, we've got your taxes. Intuit, TurboTax Live.
Pizza Hut's stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
And we're back in Birthright Alumni Hall, 56-55. Tigers up by 1 on the 14th ranked team in the nation. Mo Carter and Nick Finch on the broadcast. Here's Khalil Johnson over to Devin Merriweather. Into the man with the hot hand, Bailey Talley. Backing down this man. The turnaround jumper is good by Bailey Talley. Bailey Talley is on fire today against the team from his home city. Talley with 17 points. Michael Harden will try to quiet it down, and he does with the pull-up J. He keeps it a 1-point game.
That rim's been too friendly for the Wolfpack. Man, Bailey Talley, hey, it just warms my heart to see inspired basketball being played.
Here's Khalil Johnson at the top of the key. Gets it over to Dennis. Dennis is going to pull up. Gets it over to Talley. Can Talley pull up? No, he cannot. Into the hands of Johnson. Johnson will pull up for 3. It's good from downtown Tuscaloosa. 61-57. Michael Harden's going to respond, and he does.
Unfazed. unworried. Just as calm as he wanted to until he screamed right then. What a shot by Michael Hart.
And we're looking at him face to face right now in front of our broadcast booth. That guy has ice in his veins, and he's talking trash to the Stillman team. But Khalil Johnson doesn't care because he knocks down a three-pointer right there. And now we got a timeout on the floor. Loyola's got to take it. Tigers up 64-59. Let's take it with them. We'll be right back on BCSN.
Unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So, give us everything you've got.
What if I'm a professional gamer with a ton of expenses?
If they help drive views, let's talk deductions.
What if I'm in a state with no income tax, but my survival videos are viewed in 38 countries?
I can help. And if this is a business dinner, save those jerky receipts. An interesting life can mean an even greater refund. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit TurboTax Live.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
And welcome back to a fired up Birthright Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Khalil Johnson bringing this crowd to its feet with the three-pointer here as Stillman now leads 64-59. Mo Carter here on the broadcast. Nick Finch will join us momentarily coming out of this timeout. Very important game for both of these teams. With a victory tonight, Loyola can at least clinch a share of the #1 spot and the regular season title in the SSAC, while Stillman can climb as high as 4th on this one. Here's Bailey Talley. And we've got a foul here as Talley was trying to go up for the bucket. All right, so here's what we're going to do. There's a timeout on the floor, but we're going to go ahead and we're just going to stay here because we just took a timeout. And Nick Finch has joined us back once again. Nick, I was just talking about the importance of this contest. A win for Loyola gives them at least clinching a share of the regular season title, but a win for Stillman can get them as high as 4th place. How important is that, especially with 3 games left in the regular season and then the tournament starting in literally about 2.5 weeks?
Well, for Loyola, it's everything because this is a 2-bid league. The top 2 teams from the tournament get in. So, if you're not the 1 seed, it's not that you want to avoid playing Loyola, but it'd be an uphill battle being a 4, 5, or 8. So, getting to the 2nd or 3rd place spot in a conference is just as important as going maybe 6 or 7. And that's pretty much the situation the way you want it.
Yes, sir. So let's take a look at what the standings look like right now. As we mentioned, Loyola is the #1 seed right now. Stillman is tied for 5th. Depending on what happened with Dalton State's game tonight, they could get as high as 4th. So if the tournament started today, Stillman could either face the likes of Life or Dalton State in what would be considered the 2nd round, because they would get a 1st round bye with only teams 7 through 10 playing in the 1st round.
I'm just saying, looking at those conference standings, where you are isn't the worst thing in the world. Like I said, when you're in this conference tournament, the top 2 teams get the bye, regular season champion and the tournament champion. So let's say if Loyola if they win the regular season, they get the game or they get the automatic bid.
Yes, sir.
So after that, if you finish, if Loyola makes the conference championship game, whoever's the 2nd place team gets the automatic bid. And so that's the situation. It's like, yeah, you can finish 4 or 5 or 8, but you really don't.
Correct, and it just goes to show you it goes beyond just the postseason tournament.
Right.
on that one. All right, so let's update you on what's just happened. Bailey Talley knocked down 2 free throws for Stillman, put his team up 66-61. Loyola now with the ball. It's Michael Harden. He's going to pull up from the baseline. Misses it off the front arm, but there's a rebound by Cam Williams. His shot is off the mark. Bailey Talley comes up with the rebound, and then he is fouled.
Man, Bailey Talley, 21 minutes off the bench, 8 of 9 from the floor, 17 points, 10 rebounds now. Like, a double-double for Bailey Talley. If you told me what was going to happen, I would not have predicted that. Not because of a talent issue, just because you hadn't seen that all year.
No, you really haven't. Don't get me wrong. Like, Bailey Talley has made an impact when he gets on the floor in a reserve role. He didn't start tonight's game, but he came in pretty early, and he's been making an impact ever since. Here's Khalil Johnson. Gets it over to Finkley. Finkley's trying to get it to Talley instead. Talley's going to set up the pick and roll. Over to Devin Merriweather. Merriweather three-pointer doesn't hit anything and goes out of bounds. Air ball. If we were in an opposing gym, you'd be hearing air ball left and right.
Hey, but we're not.
Yeah, you won't hear that when it comes to a Stillman player not making that shot.
A 5-point lead here for the Tigers. It feels like a 1-point deficit. That's how quickly the score can change when you're dealing with Loyola.
Here's Zach Moeller going inside to Majai, and Majai scores again as he gets behind the defense. He makes it a 3-point game, 66-63. Here's Merriweather. Going to try to get by a bunch of defenders. Draws a lot of contact, but no foul on the play. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Wolfpack.
Well, that's one of those situations where there might have been a lot of contact, but he jumped into the contact. They're not going to get it if the defender does their part and just puts their hands straight up. You're not going to get that call.
So here's Merriweather. Get it over to Khalil Johnson. Johnson, the step back three off the mark. The tip by Finkley is off the mark, but Bailey Talley comes up with a rebound. Talley's going to try a three. He misses. Rebound again by Khalil Johnson. He's going to try a fadeaway off the glass, and the bank is open for Khalil Johnson.
I like the lack of fear in these players taking these shots.
68-63. Here's Harden. The drive, the missed shot, rebound, goes to Stillman, and we're going to have a foul, reaching foul at that.
That was Cameron Williams with that one. I think that's just his second foul of the game.
Cameron Williams, one of those New Orleans players I was telling you about, that Talley has probably competed against at some point in time. 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go in regulation. Tigers holding on to a 3-point lead. Here's Talley. Gets it back over to Devin Merriweather. Now Merriweather going to drive. Throws it over. Jamar Jackson's wide open for three. It is good from downtown Tuscaloosa.
Those are the shots you have to hit, and Jackson did just that. Big bucket for this Tiger basketball team.
Absolutely. Jamar Jackson with another three-pointer on the evening. Here's a drive by Galloway. He goes off glass and scores as he glides through the lane prior to putting that shot up. 71-65. 8:26 to go. Here's Finkley, who's back in the game. Finkley going to throw it over to Bailey Talley. Talley's going to try his hand at a three. Bailey Talley on the money tonight. What a game by the man from Covington, Louisiana.
It's the Bailey Talley game. I love it. 22 points, 11 rebounds.
Double-double tonight for Bailey Talley, 74-65. Here's Harden. He's going to drive. Missed shot. Rebound. Guess who? Bailey Talley.
Oh, my goodness. Right now, the Tigers have to keep the pedal to the metal.
A near steal by Michael Harden, however, heads up play by Devin Merriweather to dive on the ball and call a timeout. So we're going to keep it with them right now because I think it was just a 30. So, yes. So we'll keep it with them on that one. But, yeah, heads up play by Devin Merriweather on that scenario, even though the one guy that could even steal the ball away from him was still like 5 feet away now. I guess it's one of those better safe than sorry scenarios, right?
Yeah, you know, I do that a lot on NBA 2K23. I use my player dive to the floor and like immediately get the timeout called because we don't want to lose possession. So I could definitely relate to where Devin was coming from. I mean, not physically as in me doing it, but, you know, virtually on the PlayStation 5. I understand where he's coming from.
I got you. At some point in time, I gotta either make that investment or beg my beautiful wife of 8 years, who I love dearly, to give me one when they're available.
Oh my goodness!
Nah, man. I get my fair share of playing 2K just on other people's consoles. All right, enough about the virtual reality stuff. Let's get back to the actual reality of basketball here inside of Birds Right Alumni Hall. 7:44 to go. 74-65 is your score. Tigers on top. The inbound goes to Bailey Talley. Over to Finkley. Over to Merriweather. Merriweather's going to drive. Goes up high off the glass and scores for Merriweather. And then Merriweather loses the shoe. The official quickly sees it. He's going to give him a few seconds to put it back on.
Merriweather really put his foot in that shot.
He really did.
I didn't want to do the pun, but I couldn't help it.
I know. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. So here we go. Some defensive switches. Jamar Jackson is now going to guard the point guard coming up, and that is Alex Hammond. Hammond with the big crossover, the drive, but he misses the layup. Finkley now pushing it. They've got numbers. Here comes Khalil Johnson. Johnson loses the ball. Now Loyola's got numbers. And they throw it over, and how about Cam Williams misses the dunk? But here's Majai for 3 points, and he knocks it down.
Yeah, sometimes you just wish he had thrown down the dunk. You would have saved the point.
The crowd was so into it that nobody was paying attention that Majai had the ball. And he knocks it down from downtown. Here's Merriweather. Oh, almost throws it away, and he does. And a bucket right here by Hammond. All of a sudden, Nick, we've got a 6-point game.
I'll tell you one thing. Alex Hammond, he is a big guard, man. And I mean that as I am physically, and he has some strength on him.
Here comes Finkley. Finkley's going to kick it out to Johnson. Johnson over to Merriweather. Merriweather with the crossover, and he's going to be called for steps.
Merriweather doing a little too much on that possession. Got to trust his teammates there. You know, Talley has played a lot of minutes. You got to wonder, you know, I know he wants to stay out there, but you might want to put some fresh legs in for just a little while before he gets too gassed, and you might need him going down the stretch the way he's playing tonight.
Absolutely. Bailey Talley, 22 points. As Hammond scores again. Easy layup in the paint. It's a 4-point game.
Hammond again using all that strength and size, and he blew right by Talley there.
And Coach John Teasley has seen enough. So there's a timeout. Let's take it with them. 76-72 is your score. We'll be right back on BCSN.
When you work in IT, complaints are part of the job.
Bill says the coffee's weak today.
But since CDW helped us switch to Mac, everyone's happier. Dan from Finance likes getting performance without a big price tag. Phoebe digs the power of the Apple M1 chip. Mac is easy to manage, compatible with all our apps, and came pre-configured by CDW. Now we're even getting compliments.
That was Bill again, says he loves his new Mac. He's right about the coffee.
Hey, babe, meet us at the bottom of the trail.
Oh, man.
Hey.
Open up. The redesigned Chevy Silverado with a sophisticated high-tech interior.
Open the door.
It's easy to forget it's a truck.
Thanks.
Nice truck.
It was.
Find new style. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
All right, and welcome back to Birthright Alumni Hall. Coach John Teasley had to call a timeout to slow some things down as Loyola went on a run and cut into this lead. It's now a 4-point deficit for the Wolfpack. They only trail 76-72. Mo Carter and Nick Finch here inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. Here's Derek Finkley. He's going to try to drive. He's going to kick it out. Here's a wide open Jamar Jackson. Misses the three-pointer. And we've got a loose ball foul.
That was good spot. Good work by Tally being on the spot. I think Alex Hammond is going to be called for the foul inside, going for the rebound.
So Bailey Tally is going to head over to the free throw line now.
Tigers in the bonus, got the 1-and-1 coming. But it's like a timeout first.
It's always a good situation. Bailey Tally, though, on the year, not the best free throw shooter in the world, but he gets it done the best way that he can. And actually, I am mistaken. Bailey Tally is one of the better free throw shooters on this team. He's 81% from the field. So, well, there's a timeout on the floor. We're going to stay here because we just took our media timeout, and we're going to keep rolling.
Yeah,
with
it was the under 6 media. It's no big deal. We can keep it here. I hadn't talked all night, you know.
Feel like I haven't seen you in a while, man.
Yeah, I know. You know, my work here kept me from being with you guys in Fairfield. I think it was just Monday, or was it last Monday? Whenever Spring Hill was in Fairfield.
I had the Saturday game against Tuskegee and Miles, and then we had Spring Hill on Monday. Yep.
Right. So that last Saturday we had something here, and I couldn't be, obviously I couldn't be on the road. Monday we had our softball home opener, so I had to be here to work that game. So I missed the Spring Hill game, and then here we are tonight.
It's all good. You're a man of many talents, and we appreciate you even adding your talents to BCSN for sure.
I think the funniest thing that you said before when I got on the broadcast is like I finished my 9 to 5, and then immediately, maybe 5 minutes into me sitting here, I had to go back and do my job. That's what I mean. When you work in college athletics, there's no such thing as a 9 to 5.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've dipped my hands in the college athletics through the years, and I have a big appreciation to the people who actually do it all the time, for sure. All right, so we got a 1-and-1 situation. Bailey Tally at the line, 81% free throw shooter on the year. Bailey Tally has been he's had the hot hand for Stillman. I don't want to say he's the hot man for Stillman, because some people may take that the wrong way. So I'm going to go ahead and say he's had the hot hand for Stillman.
Well, he has a nice haircut.
Yeah, he does have a fresh haircut. .24 points now for Tally. And the student section has been loving the play of Tally all night. Bailey Tally makes it a 6-point game. Stillman out in front. Here comes Galloway, being guarded by who else but Tally. And Galloway still goes over Tally. The outstretched arms of Tally at that, and scores.
And Galloway, I just don't understand how you get that shot to go. Defense in perfect position, it didn't even matter.
Here comes Finkley. Finkley's going to drive and misses the layup, but he'll head to the free throw line. He took a hard hit going down to the floor, but he popped up quickly, so he's A-okay.
Man, these guys hit the floor so hard. If I hit the floor that hard, I'm down there for at least 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Wondering if you got to call the insurance company, huh?
Nah, no wonder. You got to call the insurance company. There's no question.
It's Eric Finkley at the free throw line. First free throw is up and it's good. 5-point game now. In the meantime, Mr. Finch, you talk about your 9 to 5. How busy will your 9 to 5 be next week as homecoming is making its way to the Stillman College campus?
I try not to think about it because I think we have one free day next week. I think it's Wednesday. And then after that, it's just chaos is the politically correct term I should use.
I mean, at the end of the day, it'll be good to see a lot of people who have made Stillman College what it is today, making their way back to the campus as Majai knocks down the three-pointer and makes it a three-point game.
For everybody else, it's seeing folks, again, for me, it's seeing folks for the first time. You got to remember, these are my first few months here at Stillman. And I can say this, the most ironic thing, the first time I ever worked a game at Stillman was a softball game last year at homecoming.
Khalil Johnson misses the three-pointer. Michael Harden gets it over to Cam Williams, and the ball goes off his foot. They're going to throw it up. Khalil Johnson can't run it down. Ball goes back over to the Wolfpack.
As long and athletic as Khalil Johnson is, it just feels like anytime you make that kind of throw, he can be able to come up with it. But as we get, you remember, this is what I said at the start of the second half. It's a three-point game, 4 minutes to go. This is winning time. Will the more disciplined approach, the more disciplined approach is going to win. We just have to see if it's going to come from Loyola or if it's going to come from the Tigers.
Absolutely. Here's Galloway. Galloway being guarded by Bailey Talley. He kind of blows by Talley. Talley will put his hands up, and Galloway misses the jumper. Rebound goes to Khalil Johnson. Devin Merriweather will bring the ball up. He's being guarded closely by Milan Majai. 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here's a screen from Talley. Merriweather, gets some skating, pulls up, misses the jumper though.
Oh, what a fantastic behind the back power dribble. Just couldn't finish with the shot.
Here comes Harding, the turnaround jumper, and that is good. I don't think that guy has missed a shot within 7 feet of the goal tonight on his attempt.
And these guys have some of the most feathery touch I've seen on these hard drives and stopping pops. It's beautiful basketball.
3 minutes to go, 1 point game, 80-79. Stillman on top. Here's Merriweather, wants to go inside to Bailey Talley. What can Talley do? Talley, the power dribble, the turnaround, and it's good by Bailey Talley. 26 points for Bailey Talley. He makes it a 3-point game. Here's Mondesor, kicks it out to Galloway. Galloway for three, his three-pointer well off the mark. There's a scramble for the ball, and the rebound goes over to Derek Finkley. Finkley's going to slow it down because he does not have the numbers. Finkley coming off the screen from Bailey Talley. Oh, he missed Talley on the pick and roll. And I say he missed because Talley is being guarded right now by Harden. That is a pure mismatch. Instead, we get a drive right here by Devin Merriweather, and Merriweather gets the bucket to fall, 84-79. Stillman extends their lead. Here's Galloway, and Galloway will score.
And you said he missed him, and we'll get a timeout here. That was a 28-second possession that is resulted in a score for the Tigers. That's not a bad thing.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back on BCSN.
When you work in IT, complaints are part of the job.
Bill says the coffee's weak today.
But since CDW helped us switch to Mac, everyone's happier. Dan from finance likes getting performance without a big price tag. Phoebe digs the power of the Apple M1 chip. Mac is easy to manage, compatible with all our apps, and came pre-configured by CDW. Now we're even getting compliments.
That was Bill again, says he loves his new Mac. He's right about the coffee.
Hey, babe, meet us at the bottom of the trail.
Oh, man. Hey.
Open up. The redesigned Chevy Silverado with a sophisticated high-tech interior.
Open the door.
It's easy to forget it's a truck.
Thanks.
Nice truck.
It was. Find new style. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
It's like a loot machine.
And we're back in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We got a 3-point game as Stillman leads Loyola, the number 14 team in the nation and the number 1 team in the SSAC by 3 points. 1:54 to go in regulation. Can Stillman hold on for the mild upset? We will find out. Here's Derek Finkley being guarded closely by Milan Majai. This has been a good matchup tonight. Majai has not let him get away too much.
Yeah,
Into the hands of Khalil Johnson. Back over to Finkley. Finkley's got 13 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here comes Finkley. He's going to drive. Oh, his ball gets tipped away and stolen by Michael Hart. And then good hustle right here in front by Devin Merriweather. Hey. Watch the fans pick it up here on the broadcast. So here we go. 1:25 to go. And we still got an 84-81 we got an 84-81 game. 1:25 to go, Nick, and God, they still haven't got this thing cleaned up.
That's what I was looking at. You know, whoever's over game day ops and facilities, that guy probably needs to get up and go do his job. Whoever he or she is.
I think I know who it is.
I mean, you let me know, and I'll go take care of him.
You go find him.
I'll go find him.
And Michael Hart will be called for a travel. So turnover, ball goes back over to Stillman.
Mo, quite frankly, this is one of the most important possessions of the game. The Tigers have to get points, and they're going to call timeout before we do even do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full timeout here.
We got a full timeout?
Yep.
All right, let's take that full timeout with them. 1:20 to go. 3-point game. We'll be right back on BCSN.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing, we've got your taxes. Intuit, TurboTax Live.
T. Madden & Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden and Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one outpizzas the Hut.
All right, Ed, we are back. A final 1:20 of regulation is about to happen right here in front of our eyes inside the Birthright Alumni Hall. It's Mo, it's Nick, it's Stillman, it's Loyola. Stillman trying to pull off the upset tonight inside the Birthright of the 14th ranked team in the nation and the number 1 team in the SSAC.
To highlight the importance, I was saying, of this possession, look how aggressively Loyola's playing this defensive set.
Yep, they showed a full court press set. Instead, they're just going to go to your basic man-to-man. Here's Finkley being guarded by Majai once again. And Finkley loses the ball out of bounds. Possession goes back over to the Wolfpack. I mean, no contact on the play. It's just one of those things where he tried to make a move quicker than he wanted to, and then the ball just went off his leg. Here's Mondesor, who's going to drive to the basket and scores. And he's got a chance to tie this ball game up at 84. 84-83 is your score. Matthew Mondesor from Los Angeles, California. West Coast representing tonight in the South.
And this is what I was talking about. You see, you go from a situation to where it's a potential 5-point lead to a 3-point play.
And he ties the ball game up at 84. 56.8 seconds to go. Finkley's going to take the ball out. He gets it to Merriweather. Merriweather tells everybody, get out the way. I'm going to bring it up court. Merriweather being guarded closely by Michael Harden. On the floor right now, Finkley, Merriweather, Jackson, Talley, and Khalil Johnson. 15 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here's Derek Finkley. 10 seconds. Finkley's got to make a move. Here comes Finkley. Goes off glass, misses the shot. Rebound goes to the Wolfpack. Shot clock is off. Here comes Michael Harden with a chance to lift his team to the lead. 17 seconds to go inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. They're on their feet behind us. Michael Harden being guarded closely by Derek Finkley. Here comes Harden. Harden, the crossover. He's got to do something. He's got 2 seconds. Harden pulls up, misses the shot. We're going to overtime. Free basketball here inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. What do you think about that last shot and possession by Loyola, Nick?
I would have forced something at the rim. I mean, I understand the cool factor of settling for a pull-up jumper, but there's no reason not to get a pick and roll and get some action going to the rim, forcing the defense to make a decision. I think you make it easy for the defense when you try to take it one-on-one in the final seconds of a game.
Yes, sir. So we have played 40 minutes, and we need 5 more. So here we go. We are going to head to overtime. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back for 5 free minutes of basketball on BCSN.
At HBCUs, there's no limit to who we can be. Black and inspired and thriving. Black and magnetic and sing. From the classrooms to the quad, our passion is our purpose. We are leaders and legacy. So when you look at what we accomplish next, you'll know where it started. For who you are and who you want to be, we're here.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing, we've got your taxes. Intuit, TurboTax Live.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
And welcome back to Birthright Alumni Hall. Mo Carter, Nick Finch on the broadcast. And Nick, we've got some free basketball coming up between Stillman and Loyola. 40 minutes wasn't enough, so we're going to add 5 more to the clock.
Oh, and nothing says big-time games, big-time moments like overtime free basketball.
So jumping the ball is going to be Bailey Talley and Cameron Williams.
It's like I said, Mo, it's a game that is must-win for the Tigers and can't lose for Loyola.
Yes, sir. So the tip is controlled by Khalil Johnson. Good play by Bailey Talley. Here comes Devin Merriweather. He's got a screen from Talley. Merriweather with 14 seconds to go on the shot clock, hands it off to Finkley. Finkley thinking about coming off a screen. No, he won't. 5 seconds to go. Johnson's got to toss it up now. 3 ball off the mark. Doesn't hit the rim. It's going to be a shot clock violation.
Man, that defender shot the gap like a cannonball, man. What a good defensive play. I mean, you know, obviously it's a Stillman broadcast, but, you know, when you see good basketball like that, you can't help but like, oh, that's good play.
No, I totally agree with you on that one.
And it forced the turnover, the shot clock violation from Stillman.
Good defensive possession by Loyola on that one. I mean, they aren't the top-ranked team in the league and 14th-ranked team in the nation for nothing. and they definitely show that. Clearly, when we kind of look at our scores, both teams are well over their scoring average on the year, and also both teams are well over the amounts given up on the year, too. As we said, at 84-84. Here comes Michael Harden. Harden got some separation, didn't decide to take a shot, though. Instead, Galloway will drive inside. Bailey Talley with the block on Galloway. And here comes Devin Merriweather. Merriweather goes high off glass, missed the shot, but Bailey Talley there misses his putback, but he runs down the ball. Here's Khalil Johnson for three in the corner. He misses it, but he'll head to the free throw line.
I wonder how you don't get offensive, not offensive, but
I was thinking basket interference, yeah, because the dude smacked the backboard.
I mean, smacked it. Hey, he could have broke it if he did it in order.
Correct. Interesting sequence right there. But in the meantime, Khalil Johnson, he's going to head to the free throw line, knocks down the first free throw, first points of overtime.
He knocked the fire out of that backboard.
Here's the second free throw. It's good. 2-point game now. Johnson, he's got 22 points. And Johnson goes 3 for 3, picks up his 23rd point.
He hit that backboard like it was a South Alabama mosquito on it.
Johnson's got 24. Bailey Talley's got 26. And we got an official's whistle.
Shot clock was never reset.
I actually think the shot clock should be down to 25 because Johnson was actually shooting his free throws at 3:54. Okay, they did switch to 25. All right, so here we go. Here comes Mondesur. He throws it inside, and there's going to be a block shot, but there's a foul on the play.
And there's been so many close calls on the inside. One was bound to go the way of an offensive player sooner or later.
So going to the line right now is Zach Moeller. Moeller only has 5 points on the evening.
And remember, Mo, in overtime, team fouls don't reset. So the next foul by Loyola, no matter what, it's going to be 2 free throws for the Tigers.
And Moeller misses his first free throw. 69% free throw shooter on the year.
Hey, ball don't lie.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Now, I will say this. I think he fell kind of hard off the foul because he walked to that free throw line gingerly. And I really do wonder if it altered his shot just now.
I think anytime these guys hit the floor, it has to affect them. It's just a matter of how much.
All right, here comes Devin Merriweather off the screen from Talley. He'll throw it over to Finkley, over to Khalil Johnson. Johnson for the fadeaway three, and Johnson knocks it down from downtown Tuscaloosa again. 90-84. Here's Galloway. He tries to go up hard. His shot is blocked by Johnson. Last touch by the Wolfpack. Stillman takes over.
Great team defense. Bailey Talley slowed him up. Khalil Johnson came from behind and cleaned it up for the block and forced the turnover possession back to the Tigers.
Great plays on both sides of the ball for the Tigers. All right, taking the ball out. Here we go. Jamar Jackson, he's got the rock. Gets it back over to Finkley. Here comes Finkley. He'll kick it back out to Johnson. Back in the hands of Finkley. 13 seconds to go on the shot clock. He gets the screen from Bailey Talley. He'll throw it over to Khalil Johnson. Khalil thought about the three-pointer. Instead, he's going to kick it out. 3 seconds to go on the shot clock. Devin Merriweather with the floater, misses it. But Merriweather runs down the ball. And we've got a timeout here for Stillman. Heads-up play by the Stillman coaching staff to get that timeout. But we're going to keep it right here, everyone. 90-84 is your score. Tigers out in front on the 14th ranked team in the nation.
By the super senior. That's
absolutely. Devin Merriweather has played a lot of games for Stillman, and this is his second to last home game. So you talk about the importance of a game for a team. Think about the importance of the game for that young man right there.
Yeah, I mean, you have guys who've done everything they can to get on this floor tonight, and then to come up with a play like that against the top team in the conference. What a tremendous play by Merriweather to get another possession for the Tigers. And we've still got a long way to go. Don't get it twisted. But going up 8 here or going up 9 here would be a tremendous help. And it allows the Tigers to essentially take a minute of game action away, because Loyola, when they foul or have to go for the foul, it's 2 free throws for the Tigers.
Agreed. We're definitely getting into additional crunch time. We've been in crunch time, but additional crunch time is now the official word of overtime for sure. 2:29 to go in this one. Stillman is trying to pull off the upset of the 14th ranked team in the nation. All right, so 19 seconds to go on the shot clock. Inbounding will be Khalil Johnson. Johnson's going to get it inside to Finkley. Finkley's going to dribble it out. Now Finkley's going to drive. Go high off glass. Missed shot by Stillman.
That was the right decision. Just a little too high on the arc of the shot.
Needed a softer touch on that one. Here's Galloway. Being guarded by Finkley on this one. He'll kick it out to Majai. Majai can't get off a three-pointer like he's done in previous attempts. Back in the hands of Galloway. Being guarded closely by Talley. They left Michael Harden wide open, and he makes them pay with a three-pointer from downtown, making it a three-point game.
That's why when you're one of the top teams in the country, you're never out. When it changes the whole situation.
Absolutely.
When Stillman had the chance to go up by 8 and you just missed by inches, Loyola comes back in the other end and makes it a three-point game. And now it changes the whole move.
It does. And look, taking a look at these standings right now, as I mentioned, Stillman is second, third. Technically, Stillman is tied for 4th place with Dalton State and Life University. If Stillman wins tonight, they go ahead of both Life, who did not play tonight, and also on this evening, Bruton Parker beat Dalton. So, Stillman can easily move into a tie for 3rd place, not even 4th place, 3rd place tonight if they win. Dalton State lost tonight. Life didn't play. Dalton, Life, and Stillman are all tied for 4th place with a 10-7 mark in conference play.
A win here, I can go ahead and tell you now, a win here will put Stillman firmly in 4th place. Mobile has 2 wins over the Tigers, so they'll have the tiebreaker. So that'll put Stillman College in 4th.
There it is. They still will climb the rankings. They still would climb the rankings. You are correct on that one. Man, what a game we have had this evening.
But, Jay, before you can worry about what they will be, you have to worry about what they are. Right now, they're up 3 with just under 2 minutes to go.
Very important possession right here for Stillman. Finkley got the rock. Finkley picks up his dribble. He's got to get it to somebody. He'll get it over to Jamar Jackson. Now in the hands of Devin Merriweather. 8 seconds to go. Here's Merriweather. The drive. He misses the layup. Ball last touched though by Loyola, so it will remain with Stillman.
With a refresh shot clock, Tigers can take this by the time it finishes coming out of the net or is rebounded, it'll be under a minute to go.
Here's Jackson. Jamar Jackson gets it over to Devin Merriweather. Stillman up by 3, 90-87. 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here comes Merriweather. Merriweather pulls up, misses the jumper. Rebound goes to Mondesir. Mondesir will get it over to Michael Harden. Back in the hands of Mondesir, back over to Harden. Back over to Mondesir. He's going to back down Khalil Johnson. Now he gets over to Galloway. Galloway's going to throw it over to Cam Williams. He thought about a 3 instead. Here's Harden with 11 seconds to go. They leave Harden wide open, and he knocks down the three-pointer to tie the ball game up. Again, then looks at the Stillman crowd like, you can't stop me in this one. 90-90 is the score.
Harden with a personal 6-0 run to tie this one up.
Here's Khalil Johnson. Wait, we got a whistle on the floor before the shot.
Blocking foul.
And they're going to call an offensive foul. They're going to call a blocking foul on Stillman.
I didn't get the number.
Here's our situation. 24 seconds to go. No shot clock. 90 for the Tigers. 90 for the Wolfpack. Wolfpack with a chance to take the lead. Here's Michael Harden. He's got 20 points on the night. 10 seconds to go. Harden being guarded closely by Finkley. Harden coming off a double screen, goes behind his back. He's going to drive. Here's the floater. Misses the shot. Double overtime we go.
Am I ever going to see my wife again?
I'm wondering that myself. Oh, man. So 35 minutes was not enough. We need 5 more minutes of game time. So let's do this, everybody. We're going to take another break. And when we come back, we've got overtime number 2 from Birthright Alumni Hall here on BCS 10.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing, we've got your taxes. Intuit, TurboTax Live.
T. Madden and Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden and Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one out Pizza Hut.
It's like a loop machine.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Birthright Alumni Hall, where we played not 1, but now we're getting ready to play overtime number 2. As 45 minutes was not enough for Stillman and Loyola, so we are going into the second overtime. Before the tip-off, Nick, I thought for sure that Harden might have knocked down that shot and sent us home.
You just never know.
I'm not saying I'm speaking this into existence, but, man, that was something else. All right, here's Merriweather off the tip. He misses the shot, runs down his own rebound. He's going to kick it out to Khalil Johnson. The pump fake. Instead, he'll get it over to Merriweather. Merriweather back over to Khalil Johnson with 14 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here comes Johnson into the hands of Jackson. Here comes Johnson. The pull-up jumper off the mark. Rebound, Johnson. And we've got a blocking foul, so Johnson's going to head to the free throw line.
That's right. Double bonus from here on out.
So everybody shooting 2 free throws from here on out.
Cameron Williams called for that one. I think he was in the restricted zone, which is why he got called for that. Otherwise, I thought he had fine position as far as being there before the offensive player got there.
Absolutely. So at the line is Khalil Johnson. Khalil Johnson has had one heck of a night this evening. Right now, Khalil Johnson, he's got 27 points. Looking for points number 28 and 29 potentially. So he's got 27. Bailey Talley's got 26. And the first free throw is good. 91-90.
Man, this is kind of the part of the game where you have to find nerves of steel and a lot of heart to get these shots to go, to get these defensive stops. Although with 90 points for both teams, nobody's really stopping anybody.
Correct. And here's the other thing, too, you have to think about. This is the time where both coaches are telling their squads dig deep to get a victory in this one because everybody's tired at this point. Here's Galloway, loses the ball going out of bounds. They're saying last touch by Stillman.
You know, that's one of those makeup calls because Galloway was fouled going up. He didn't get the foul call, but nobody touched the ball but him.
Here comes Mauler. Mauler gets it over to, Mauler gets it over to Mondesor, and he loses the ball. Ball stolen away by Khalil Johnson. So Devin Merriweather is going to bring the ball up court. 19 seconds to go on the shot clock. We're right at 4 minutes. Here's Merriweather being guarded close by Harden. Merriweather's going to try to go behind the back on him. Instead, he will kick it out. Here's a three-point attempt by Stillman. It is off the mark. Three-point attempt was up by Brendan Langford Johnson. We got a whistle on the floor.
We're going to say Jackson was called for the foul in transition there, although it's interesting when you get called for a foul with your hip.
Absolutely. We got a substitution getting ready to come back in. It's going to be Derek Finkley. Finkley just needed that quick breather. He's going to replace Jamar Jackson. And I've got some breaking news coming up for you, Nick, involving an HBCU player and a Alabama native. First and foremost, they just announced the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the upcoming season. Let's say congratulations to Alabama native DeMarcus Ware on being selected for the Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's from the southern part of Alabama, played collegiately at Troy. Also, we want to say congratulations to HBCU standout, the late, great Ken Riley, who was just elected. Ken Riley played in the 60s for those FAMU Rattlers. Congratulations to Ken Riley, who had a wonderful career with the Cincinnati Bengals. Many think he should have been in the Hall of Fame prior, but now he is. So Alabama represented and also HBCUs represented this year. Congratulations to all. Now back to the action here inside of Birthright Alumni Hall. It's 92-92, 3 minutes to go between Stillman and...
That was not a very clean possession there for the Tigers.
It was not. Here's Galloway. Galloway is going to try to drive on Bailey Talley. Instead, he's going to now kick it out to Majai, who hands it off to Mauler. 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. Here's Mauler, the turnaround jumper off the mark, and Bailey Talley comes up with another rebound. Here's a three-point attempt by Khalil Johnson. No, but Bailey Talley is there for the putback and the score.
It's the Bailey Talley game. We've been telling you guys this.
Bailey Talley, 18 rebounds this evening. And we've got a timeout on the floor, so let's take one with them. 94-92 is your score. We'll be right back on BCSN.
People think unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So, give us everything you've got.
What if I'm a professional gamer with a ton of expenses?
If they help drive views, let's talk deductions.
What if I'm in a state with no income tax, but my survival videos are viewed in 38 countries?
I can help. And if this is a business dinner, save those jerky receipts. An interesting life can mean an even greater refund. You do your thing. We've got your taxes. Intuit TurboTax Live.
Verizon just gave us all a brand new iPhone 13.
We've been customers for years. I thought new phones were for new customers. We got iPhone 13s too, switched to Verizon 2 minutes ago.
Ours were busted, and we still got a shiny new one.
Check it out. So wait, everybody gets the same great deal.
I think that's the point.
iPhone 13 on us for every customer. Current, new, everyone. On any unlimited plan, starting at just $35. All on the network more people rely on.
It's like a loot machine.
All right, everyone, and we're back inside the Birthright Alumni Hall. It's Mo Carter, it's Nick Finch. 2:13 to go in overtime number 2. Tigers up 94-92 on Loyola. And all I can say is, wow, what a game. And we may have more ahead of us in these last 2:13, Nick.
I'm not even going to acknowledge you said that.
You tend to do that with me a lot. Oh, man. All right, so here we go. Inbounding for the Wolfpack. They get it over to Michael Harden. Harden's going to get it over to Galloway, over to Mondesor. Mondesor is going to drive. He throws it inside. Here's a three-point attempt that gets blocked by Stillman. 15 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Still a lot of time left in this possession. Let's not get too excited yet, fans.
Agreed. Here's Galloway. Of course, he's going to – no, he's not going to hand it off to Harden. Galloway is going to try to take it on his own. Looked like he took an extra step, but he misses the floater off the glass. Rebound number 19 for Bailey Talley.
That was the right idea by Galloway. He's been using that power to get inside a lot all night. Except that time, or the last few times, it hasn't been successful. But law of averages says you need to keep going for it.
And also from a defensive standpoint, Bailey Talley's been playing well. He's only got 3 fouls. And he's been guarding Galloway majority of the night. Here's Merriweather. He's going to throw it over to Brandon Langford Johnson. His shot off the mark. Rebound goes to Alex Hammond. Here's Galloway. He's going to try to drive again. Gets a little separation, but Talley gets a piece of that ball. And the ball will go into the hands of Finkley. You might have had a better view on what I could see. The referee was in my way from my vantage point.
It was a block.
All right.
Yeah.
Ball gets knocked out of the hands of Finkley, but it will remain with Stillman. 1:01 to go in regulation of overtime number 2, I think. Here's Brendan Langford Johnson. Gets it over to Talley. Back in the hands of Devin Merriweather. Here's Khalil Johnson. Pulls up for 3, and it's good! Khalil Johnson with another three-pointer from downtown Tuscaloosa.
I told you it's the Khalil Johnson game.
It is. And when he doesn't show up, it's Bailey Talley as well. What a three-pointer.
Khalil Johnson sitting here with 32 points, 9 rebounds. We have a 20-20 game for Bailey Talley. 28 points and 20 rebounds. Like, what is happening here? Now, you talk about when you want to pull off big upsets, these are the kind of performances you have to have. And what a magnificent night. Still a long way to go. 49 seconds is a long time in basketball time.
Correct. And here's the other thing. Khalil Johnson only needs one more rebound to get a double-double as well.
Oh, my word.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, somebody turned the shot clock off.
Yeah, the shot clock has been turned off for a reason that we do not know.
Hey,
why.
we don't need a stinking shot clock.
But it's back on. It's back on. All right, here comes Michael Harden. Harden gets it over to Alex Hammond. Hammond gonna drive. Shot blocked by Bailey Talley. Talley up ahead. Talley goes up and dumps it down. Barely tally, maybe with the exclamation point for this game right here. Here's Mondesor, pulls up, misses the shot. Bailey Talley with his 20th rebound of the night. And now Loyola is going to be forced to foul. And look, Nick, I don't know. They may not be able to stop the Stillman student section from storming the court in a few seconds.
Well, I got to. Hold on. You make an interesting point. I might have to get up and do my job.
So going to the free throw line will be Stillman momentarily.
All right, now y'all don't get out of control.
Man, but what a performance today by both Bailey Talley and by Khalil Johnson as Devin Merriweather misses the first free throw.
I meant to take my headphones off while I was doing my job. That was my bad, Mo.
Oh, you're fine. Bailey Talley now with 30 points and 21 rebounds as Merriweather sinks the second free throw. 15 seconds to go. Tigers up 100-92. Here's Michael Harden. He's going to pull up for three and knocks it down to make it 100-95. This game isn't over just yet, everybody. Harden now with 20 points.
Yeah, you know, there's a trend on TikTok. They say, you know, you want to keep this or double and pass to the next person. In my opinion, I think at this point, we should be doubling Harden and passing somebody else to the next person.
Oh, no, I totally agree. I totally agree with you on that one. So, quite frankly, if you are Stillman, all you have to do is protect the ball, because if Loyola cannot come up with a steal, they're going to foul you.
Oh, my goodness. 8 seconds is such a long time to go in basketball. It's only a 5-point game. Harden, it seems like every time the game has been put away, Michael Harden has hit a shot. You know, he hit 2 shots to force overtime. Or second overtime. One of these overtimes that he forced, he went on a 6-0 run by himself.
He really did. So that's why I say this game is not over just yet. Khalil Johnson's got to get the ball in successfully. Devin Merriweather trying to get it. Instead, he's going to throw it up to Finkley. Finkley's going to go up and score! Terry Finkley with the bucket and one right there. And that will probably do it now, Nick.
Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. What a play, man. Sometimes I want to say that's not good basketball. That was pretty good basketball right there. If I can say so in my completely biased opinion.
What you got? Oh, that's what you had to say.
Yeah, in my completely biased opinion, fantastic basketball play.
Hands up play, too, by Khalil Johnson for seeing Finkley break out going down the floor. 103-95 is your score. Michael Harden is going to try to get the ball up court. Harden going to throw it. Here's Moeller. He's going to miss the shot. And that's it, everyone. Stillman pulls the upset of the 14th ranked team in the nation. Your final score, Stillman 103, Loyola 95. What a ball game tonight in double overtime. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll have post-game recaps and interviews when we return on BCSN.
Woo! I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire? I'm a millionaire? I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing, we've got your taxes. Intuit, TurboTax Live.
T. Madden & Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden & Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Pizza Hut stuffed crust is the crust that made crust good. Topped and stuffed with over a half-pound of cheese. What are you so afraid of? Loving it? Original stuffed crust, just $12.99. Only from Pizza Hut. No one outpizzas the Hut.
It's like a loop machine.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
And welcome back to Birthright Alumni Hall, everyone, where we played not one, but we played 2 overtimes tonight, with your final score, Stillman winning 103-95 over 14th ranked Loyola from New Orleans, Louisiana. What a night it was for the Stillman College Tigers. Bailey Talley, 30 points, 21 rebounds. Khalil Johnson, 32 points, and 9 rebounds to lead the way for the Tigers. When I say it really took some guts tonight, everybody.